up, guys?
Not much, just chilling in Portlandia. How about you?
Oh man, doing good, man. Doing good. Kicking back, relaxing. It's been a good time.
Wonderful.
Sweet.
So everybody who doesn't know Avery, this is our friend Avery. He is a youth pastor in Yakima, Washington. There we go. And that is not too far from us. So we've been able to do quite a few events with you guys in the past year or so since we started touring. So Avery, we just wanted to have you on today because we wanted to ask you, what have you been doing to stay positive during this time of the COVID-19 crisis?
Gotcha. Yeah, I know it's definitely been some ups and downs for sure. Especially, I don't even know if you guys know. I was joking earlier, but I really do take like medicine for chemicals and whatnot.
Mm.
I've got some anxiety, depression, like level chemical, whatever that you want to call it. And so it's been. I've had really good days. I've had really kind of sucky days, but that goes with the territory. But overall, just trying to stay busy has been the biggest thing,
Yeah.
whether it's, prepping like sermon prep or just personal study or whatever, playing Madden, just trying to figure something out to keep myself busy and not dwell on the situation itself.
Yeah.
So,
So what have you then been seeing for seeing God do in your life and the lives of others around you during this time?
Gotcha. Yeah, one of the biggest things has definitely been the growth within our men's ministry as a church, which I'm just a part of. I'm not the head of it by any means. That's all my boy Sergio. But he's done a really good job of, putting together a couple work days and stuff just so we can come and do like manual labor and some things that have really been needed around the church, but at the same time give us that opportunity, get out of the house and kind of let our guard down because as guys a lot of times we like to be like the tough son of a guns that don't really show emotion, but it's been good. It's been really good as far as that goes. I'm just really hoping that we'll keep up this momentum coming out of this whole crisis of wanting to be together and spend time with each other and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're at. That's been our biggest impact, I guess you could call it, within the church. So,
So I'm curious though, what is Yakima's plan for reopening, and how soon do you guys think you might be having church again in person?
gotcha. So the past couple weeks, we've actually done like parking lot services.
Okay.
And then this week, we're actually starting to do church like on the lawn. We got a big grass area right next to the church. So it's going to be like almost picnic style where you bring like lawn chairs and whatnot and just come and hang out. Still social distancing and all that good stuff because, that's what we've made sure, as bad as we want to get together and stuff like that, we know that it's not, this isn't some form of like religious persecution that we're under right now. This is like common sense and like keeping each other safe. And so we're not trying to jump the gun by any means. In fact, we've talked about doing the church on the lawn for probably at least a month before we actually get back into the building. And so that's kind of where we're at as a leadership team at the church. Obviously there are those that are like, oh, we want to get together and do communion next week. And it's like, yeah, we better hold off on that for a little while at least.
Yeah. Wow, that's smart of you guys. That's really smart. Because for myself, I have been so antsy to just get back out and tour again and go see.
Yeah.
But I know it's like, like you said, it's like, I don't want to infect somebody if I'm secretly carrying the virus. I don't want to just like,
exactly.
And then like a couple days later, everyone's like, so that is smart. Wow. Well, okay. So Avery, my last question for you today would be kind of what would be your advice for people going through this time who are experiencing, like you mentioned earlier, that you experience depression and anxiety and stuff, and that you have to take pills and stuff for that. What would be your advice for people who are going through a similar situation to you, just in terms of keeping positive about the situation?
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting that this kind of came up as a topic because I actually preached last week, and that's literally my sermon was mental health. And, like, especially during this time of crisis, what can we do as a church to A, support those that deal with it, and B, deal with it ourselves, if we're in that situation. And the two main like big things where you got to be aware that it's out there. You got to be aware that, you know, you're not necessarily, if you find yourself feeling down or like apathetic or whatever, like kind of negative verbiage you want to use for your everyday, like that's not how it's necessarily supposed to be. And so, like, you know, take that first step and go get checked out, man. Go ask questions and do some research and really, you know, make yourself informed just in case. Because and then the second thing would be to actually do something about it. You know, like it's one thing to have the diagnosis, it's the other to actually take the medicine. You know, but as far as just general, you know, let's say you don't have like a chemical imbalance or anything crazy, you know, it's still easy to kind of like bum out and fan into like this depressed state, just because, like I said, we are made to have relationships. You know, we were created to be with one another. And so it can be really difficult on your mindset and everything, being stuck at the house, being stuck down in the basement and not being able to get out and go do stuff, you know. And so the biggest thing would be, A, be aware of it, and two, make yourself busy. You know, find stuff to do, find a new hobby, find, you know, whatever. Myself, I've been doing, you know, sermon prep and whatnot and just staying busy. But, you know, if you're not a pastor and you're not working, you know, you could always do like other Bible studies, or, you know, figure out you're really good at art, or like something, just do something, you know, rather than just like sitting around and like waiting for everything to open.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. So then I just want two examples of two different, or I want one example of two different things. What would be, do you think, for anyone watching out there who may not be super familiar with the Bible, what would be one book of the Bible you'd suggest everybody to read right now to be able to just kind of get through this thing? And then the other one is, what is something besides sermon prep and things like that that you have been doing to keep busy, whether that's a hobby or whatever?
Okay. So yeah, the first one, definitely, you know, first thing that pops in my head is the book of Psalms. And, you know, that's kind of an odd book, you know, just to think of. It's like, isn't that like songs and whatnot? And yeah, it is. But the cool thing about the Psalms is it's all written for the most part either by King David or by someone that's writing for him or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And this is a guy who the Bible claims is, that God says is a man after his own heart. Okay, so he's like right in line with God. And the cool thing about it is David's emotions throughout the Psalms are all over the place. Because in one chapter, he'll be like, oh, God, you are great. You are awesome. Everything's great. And then the next one, it's like, hey, I literally want you to break the teeth of my enemies. It's like, he can say that? Like, what? Like, you're talking to God. You can talk like that? You know, that's the cool thing, is it's okay to feel this way, because like God created us to have these emotions. You know, he created us to be able to process things the way we do. Yeah, it's a little skewed because of sin and the fall and whatnot, not to get into too much theological talk or whatever, but at the end of the day, we are created the way we are because it's how God designed it. And so don't be afraid to flesh out those emotions, like whether it's getting a journal to write it down or just finding somebody to talk to. You know, the worst thing you can do is like bottle it up until you explode and do something crazy, you know. So definitely, you know, read the Psalms and just explore those emotions that David went through, and see how that parallels with how you're doing during this crazy time.
Love it.
And so my other thing would be, as far as hobby, I've been playing a lot of PlayStation.
Yeah.
A lot of PlayStation. That's right. Pastor A's 509. If you're on a PlayStation, hit me up.
Sick, man.
Yep. Getting really good at Madden. So
really good at Madden. Okay, well, good, because I suck. So there's at least some of us out there who are actually good. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for being on today.
Sure,
and just,
anytime, man. Thanks for hitting me up.
Yeah. Thanks for encouraging us. Thanks for encouraging whoever's watching out there. Yeah, dude, we love you, man. We're excited to be back up to Yakima.
Yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, see you, Avery.
That's right. See you guys.
See ya. Bye.